we couldn't decide if we were live or not.
I was dead. So
We've got Sherry, the wonderful Sherry, in the background pulling the strings. She's wonderful. Thank you. I'm Mel Adore, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and it is Aloha Tuesday. The one, the only Arthur the Magnificent.
No, it's Magnificent Mel. Aloha Arthur.
I'm running behind. It was my fault because Linda Grindle had sent us a gift of these really thick steaks from a wonderful restaurant here in Gibson's, and I took them out to thaw out a couple days ago. And I thought, I got to make those. So I made them tonight. And as much as I love all of you, I'm running behind because I was just savoring that steak.
Share next time. Come on.
There you go. And we had a nice Greek salad. That was it. Steak and salad.
Good.
All right. And I'm full. I did not get a chance to watch what's going on today. Let's send healing energy to Becky. And everybody, thank you for your kind and wonderful support. I have been working on a case here in Chicago about a young man. His first name is Jess. It's his family. I don't know how they heard about me, but his mom stopped in my office and said she had a dream of her son and said, Mel will help you. And she stopped by my office. This was about a month or two ago. And he was going to a concert at the United Center in Chicago. And there were 5 of these kids. He was a senior in high school. I forget the concert. 4 perpetrators came wearing masks on bicycles and put guns to them and said, give us everything. So they did. And when the robbery was supposedly finished, Jess was walking away. And one of them said, I'm not done with you, or whatever he said. And he walked up to him and he started hitting him with the gun. The gun fell. There was a struggle. The gun discharged. It shot one of the perpetrators in the stomach and in the hand. And Jess unfortunately lost his life. The perpetrators shot him 7 or 8 times. And I was meeting with the family on Saturday, and I said, one of these perpetrators is going to be caught very, very soon. In fact, he's been under surveillance. Well, that was on Saturday. Unbeknown to us, Friday, the day before, they arrested the perpetrator. So one of them was caught, and my feeling is the others will be. So today's show is dedicated to Jess and his family. His mother is absolutely wonderful. My friend Arlene Leakin, she is a wonderful, wonderful artist. She painted his portrait and she donated it to his mom. And then I had one done that I'm donating to his high school. So, we all need to speak up against gun violence in this country. It's out of control. But Jess, this one's for you, buddy.
It's beautiful.
So anyway, I feel his spirit around me so strongly. Of all the cases I worked on, this one was one of the toughest because he was so young. And anyway, so people wonder about some of the forensics cases that I do. Well, this is one of them. I can't talk too much about it because there's certain key facts that the police withhold, but and I will be with the family in court.
Right.
So anyway, that's what's going on here. Arthur, what's going on with you, buddy?
Not as tragic as yours. Just trying to wake up in the morning.
I'm not laughing at the tragedy. I'm laughing at the comedy.
No, I know. No, it's it's funny how spirit works, because I had a client once call about her daughter-in-law went missing. And she lived in Norway. And I just said, she'll surface on Sunday. Don't worry about it. She'll be found. She'll be okay. And she called me 2 weeks later and said, you know what? She did surface on Sunday. She drowned.
Oh, wow.
Her body surfaced on Sunday.
Wow.
I was like, so when the guides say certain words, sometimes you don't think about it, but then they're really specific. And what I keep on hearing about Pete Hedgehog is that there's going to be a scandal coming up, and what the guy's wording was tied to a woman. And he had hogtied that one woman. So we'll see what happens.
All
It's
right.
crazy.
I see
I
him.
didn't even go down that.
I see him out of that position.
Yeah.
I got my monetization limited on a show I was doing because we were talking about, it was on the Holocaust Memorial Day,
I saw that show.
the liberation. And I said that when I was in high school, it was really bad because, this rise of bullies and things. And I said, I cut school for a couple weeks in a row because I didn't want to go to school because I was beat up every day. And I was called sissy. And the F word, the derogatory term they called us gay people. And they limited the monetization because they said that word was vulgar. And I thought, it is vulgar, but it's okay for these politicians and a lot of these people to vilify our Latino brothers and sisters, our Mexican brothers and sisters, people with disability, things like that. And so I appealed it, and they said a human listened to it. And I thought if a human had listened to it, they would have heard the whole thing, and it would have not been limited monetization. So I'm wondering if this is the start of maybe censorship on YouTube. What do you think, Arthur?
Not necessarily, because I had a couple other people that used certain words that they didn't realize they should be using. So but this is not just now. I mean, this is a while back too. It's been going on.
Maybe it was about equality and maybe about not letting people use vulgarities. Then I get it, but I was using it.
I know you were quoting somebody what they called you, and
correct.
The thing is, humans aren't listening to. It's all AI.
Well, but they said a human reviewed it, but I'm like, if a human reviewed it, then they would have think, no, wait a minute, you can't take it out of context. But anyway.
Unless the human was a brown shirt.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Well, actually, there's a group in Florida calling themselves Black Shirts, and they're posting all these signs all over the place saying, we're watching you, and it's just like the brown shirts did.
Well, when we have Elon Musk going to Germany and telling the ultra right wing German party, who are neo, we won't say that other word, telling them to forget about their neo whatever past to move forward. It's not about he was telling them to forgive. He was telling them to go forward with their ideology. And then he gives a salute that was used during the Third Reich, and then said, it was a Roman salute, but he did it twice. And then finds out that he donates 5 million, I think it was 5 million euros to this far ultra right-wing woman. I forget her name. And then somebody in Austria did, and they say she's gaining in popularity. But I asked Linda about it, and I do not see her winning. And Linda didn't either. What do you think?
No, I don't see her winning.
Okay, good.
Also,
what about the tariffs in Canada and Mexico and China? That might very well, the conservatives, not the conservatives, but the ultra far right wingers were kind of gaining popularity in Canada.
Not now.
But no.
No. That really changed the trajectory.
That's what I picked up too.
And also with Trump, with President Musk saying that
we mean King Musk.
Emperor
Musk.
Or Emperor Trump, who has no clothes. But the telling the Germans not to be shameful of their past.
Right. Well, I mean, I get that, but I'm not condoning what he said. Don't get me wrong. But,
but it's scary as hell.
We need to look at our own past as well.
Yeah.
Look what we did to our African-American brothers and sisters during the times of slavery. Look what we did to the Native Americans that lived here.
Who they're now trying to round up.
Look at what he's doing now to the Mexicans. I mean, well, and I heard somebody say, well, Obama deported more people than Trump ever did. Well, Trump was only president 4 years. I don't know the numbers. I'll have to check. But Barack Obama was not pulling people out of their homes, pulling them out of schools, pulling them out of
Churches.
wherever. And nor was he talking about sending them to detention, i.e. concentration camps.
Yeah. And Biden did the same thing. But, you know, the reason why the Colombian president refused to have that plane land, number one, was an aircraft from the Air Force, but also they had shackled and chained all the men.
Right.
With no dignity.
We need to speak up.
And this whole thing with Panama, I mean, the only reason why he's doing stuff about Panama is because he owes so many taxes in Panama and they closed his hotels.
He's talking about he's winning and he's not, because the Canadians, we're taking all of our American liquors off of our shelves.
Kentucky.
And, you know, good for them.
Yeah.
I am boycotting stores, and I ask everybody to do that who do not practice diversity, equality, and DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusiveness. Trump tries to vilify that. He blamed a plane crash on it when he should have been talking about, we'll get to the bottom of this. My guides have shown me people protesting en masse in the streets. Mm-hmm. And according to you, it has started. Is that correct, Arthur?
So I believe tonight is they're protesting at the Treasury, and then tomorrow, Wednesday, at every capital.
And it's going to be more protest.
And did you see Los Angeles? They shut down the freeway here with protests to keep ICE out from taking away the migrants.
And he's not going to be able to control it all, even with troops. And he might try. But boy, I can see his generals behind the scenes. And you said this, and I've been saying it, but I'll let you say it because I mean, I've said it a long time, but you go ahead and say it.
I keep on seeing a vision. It was like from the movie Failsafe, you know, with Henry Fonda and Walter Matthau, and a whole room full of generals talking. And we got to do, and they're planning on what to do because this is a coup.
It is a coup. It's absolutely a coup d'etat by the president of this country.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I had said, my guides have shown me, I think we talked about it Monday, that I saw somebody ask about General Miley. And we were saying, well, behind closed doors, he might have lost a star, but he's already talking to other generals about how to keep, you know, Cittadini in line. And, you know, everybody, your voices have got to be heard. It's time to speak up and go forward to save our democracy.
There was a couple suggestions I'd put in the chat before you got here. One of them is for an app called Goods Unite Us. And you go there and it gives you a list of stores. And it tells you who they donate to, Republicans, Democrats, and what the percentage is. Like, I was shocked that AAA is 99%. All their money goes to Republicans. Then again, Jack in the Box, 99% of their money goes to Democrats. So, but it's all listed there. Then there was another site. It's called Southworth PC. And what they aim to do is help federal employees to solve disputes over the next 5 years. And there's the link.
Well, what they're doing is they're inundating with all these kingly decrees, you know, the presidential executive orders, and most of them are unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
But they're trying to tie up the courts. They're doing so many that they're thinking the courts can't possibly hear them all. And trust me, the courts will.
And then there's another one we talked about last time. Was called 5calls.org. 5call.org. I think it's 5call or 5calls. It's the easiest and most effective way for constituents to make a political impact. They help you with the letters, they help you with the phone calls, they send emails for you. I've been on it all day, sending to everybody. So it does work.
Okay. Everybody, here's a way to have your voices heard.
I figured if we're doing a show, I was going to share with everybody what I was getting. And this came to me from one of them came from a friend, and the other one came from sources. So it's and the other one is Justice. I have to ask Sherry to put that up. It's a website that tells you everything that's going on.
Email, text me those things, would you? When you get a chance now, but
I already did.
oh,
I already
thanks.
sent an email.
Oh, thanks. I'll take a look. All right. Here's
so anyway, I just want to put that out there.
Here's somebody, Hannelisa Rechtnagel. Hannelisa Rechtnagel.
From Denmark.
From Denmark. I probably said it wrong, but Rechtnagel sounds German. Hi, Arthur and Mel. Wishing you a great and joyful show. I will look forward to see it tomorrow morning, my time. Blessings, Hannelisa. Thank you, Hannelisa.
Hannelisa sent me for Christmas this incredible marzipan log from Denmark.
Ooh.
It was like I felt every cavity in my mouth when I bit into that.
Ooh.
It was so good.
Doesn't Denmark control Greenland, right?
Yeah.
They're probably saying, bring it on, Dandy Don.
Or Diaper Don.
Well, no, I thought of another part of the anatomy, which I can't say. I don't want to go back to YouTube jail. Okay. So we start answering questions for everybody?
Sure.
All right. Here's one. Sherry, I'll let you put them up if they're starred. Laurie Scryer says, there's a protest at the Treasury. Do you think we will start seeing riots? Will it be safe to go out to the store and doctor's appointments? Arthur, what do your guides tell you?
Show up, but do not go crazy. Silent protest is the best. And you will be able to go to the store and the doctor's appointments. I do get that.
I will go to the grocery store. I will go to my doctor's appointments, and I will engage in peaceful protest.
Peaceful protest is what I was looking for. Thank you.
I do what my guides tell me. Cheetolini and King Elonsky. Sherry calls him Muskrat. Will say that it's Antifa. Remember, it was Antifa before? No, it's DEI people doing this. It's they're trying to make a coup. Look at what they're doing.
They already wrote that.
All right.
They already wrote that, saying that Jan 6 was all Antifa and Black Lives Matter people.
Well, I'm talking about though with the protest I see coming.
Oh, okay.
And what my guides were showing me was that they will send in people like agitators to try to get things to turn violent, but they won't.
It's not going to work.
Right. And, I'm asking what's going to go on with the majority of American people. I pulled the 4 of spades, which means that even many of the people that voted for Cheetolini are going to be very suspicious of him, specifically when he promised he would bring down prices. But you mark my words, my guide showed me this. Increased prices for gasoline, for oil, lumber. So what's that going to do to the housing and the building market?
Well, look what happened to Los Angeles. They're trying to get rid of all what they once called essential workers.
Right.
They're now trying to deport them all, and we need housing building here in Los Angeles.
Well, what's going to happen is also we're going to see my guide show me increased prices on produce, clothing, liquor, auto parts. They come from Mexico. Plastics, textiles, computer chips, a lot of things.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get people not to panic, not to freak out.
I'm not trying to make people panic. I'm just simply saying that's what's in store. But that'll be the very thing that'll help bring him down. Because a lot of times people kind of stand back on social issues, but what they do speak up and they do take action when the economy gets bad. And it will. There's going to be massive inflation here. There's going to be recession. I mean, it's really going to put the economy in a tailspin.
But we can prepare ourselves for it ahead of time, knowing it's coming. You prepare for it.
Right. I found out that Canada provides 4.3 million barrels of oil daily to the United States. U.S. consumes 20 million barrels per day, We produce 13.2 million barrels daily. So what does that tell you?
And also, if Canada were to stop importing their oil, refineries they're only equipped to deal with Canadian crude, not with American crude. And they'd have to refit everything. It would take a lot of money, a lot of time. So
yeah, he's talking about banning like drugs and through immigration through what drugs come through Canada? Oh no.
Oh, Viagra. Actually, one of the medications I take, actually, it costs $1,500 here in the States for 3 months. Medicare will not cover it. And it cost me $198 for 3 months out of Canada. Same drug, same manufacturer, same packaging.
Tell me about it. Well, Canada's going to stand up against Trump. So will Mexico. And so will China for that most part. But when Donald Trump stopped U.S. aid,
people are going to die.
Found guilty in a world court for crimes against humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Elon Musk, because what he did when he did that was cause some of these countries that are developing and rely on that aid to start looking to China, to start looking to Russia, to start looking to them to get the aid they need. So Trump just really
he handed people.
He really screwed our international relations big time.
Right. Because what USA, I mean, that was started in 1961 by Kennedy. US aid.
Right.
And he said it was by executive order, so he can destroy it by executive order. That's not true.
No. That money was already appropriated, so that's going to get tied up in court for a long time. Debbie Smith says, hello. I'm sorry, say again.
I was going to say, in the meantime, we just have, all we can do right now is send love and light and most benevolent outcomes for these
and
people.
Speak up.
Oh, yeah, well, that's why.
And boycott those stores that don't have DEI.
Yeah.
Debbie Smith says, hello to two handsome young men. Debbie, the eyes are the first to go. You got it right with
I know, I was going to say,
All right. I will let you know where to send my check later. Laugh out loud. Question. Did Elon get all data from the Treasury, or were things put in place to block it? My guides tell me he didn't get as much data or however he pronounces it, he thought he would. What do you think, Arthur?
Well, if you notice, he did the same thing when he took over Twitter. He locked the doors, had his little young high school graduates come in or college graduates and sleep on couches and on cots. And they had to work 24 hours a day. And that's what he's doing now with the Treasury Department. But then they didn't get everything.
And he's not going to, and he's going to use that to grease his own pockets. And I'm telling you, he is going to be under indictment. I don't know if they'll revoke his citizenship, but I see him incarcerated.
I do too. And I wasn't going to say this out loud, but one of the visions I keep on getting is the army being involved.
The what?
The army, the military being involved with ousting him and Trump.
Well,
and I keep on seeing Trump on a gurney handcuffed.
I see the military, the generals, many of them standing up against Trump. With King Elon, my guys, my flash cube keeps going on huge daily, numerous times daily, that I see like almost this Roman-esque empire, almost Third Reich, sort of.
Fourth Reich.
Well, but I see all these, like, when we had that model that Albert Speer, his architect, made of what Berlin was going to look like. And I see that in my mind, and then I see it on fire and crumbling. So Elon Musk, that's my guide's way of telling me that his empire will crumble, as will Trump's.
It's funny you keep on mentioning the light bulb, the square light bulb, whatever. I did a show on Sunday, and before the show, I had a vision, and it was all in black and white. It was like in the 40s. And remember the big paparazzi, those flash bulbs, the big light bulbs?
Right.
It was like that. And a group of people they're handcuffed, but they had coats over their wrists so you couldn't see the handcuffs, like from the 40s. And it was just Musk, Trump, Vance, All of them. So to me, that's what's going to be happening.
Right.
It was just like a black noir film now.
I can't say the P word on here. I don't want to go to jail. But Robert Hartman says, "Hi, Mel and Arthur. I have a question about Elon Musk. Where he is making people angry, will someone try to harm him?" I just see him under indictment. I see him arrested, and I see his empire crumbling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to go to YouTube jail, and I don't want to say anything inappropriate. We have to be very careful. But my guides tell me that Elon Musk will be taken down.
I was just going to say the wording came in, be taken care of.
Right.
By the appropriate, whatever,
by the appropriate channels and legally.
Or from the realm.
Right. Okay. Debbie Smith says, do you see something happening in March?
Yes. Yes.
I feel like something big is coming. And I had said before that this country is so polarized that we're going to be in a constitutional crisis, and Trump wants that.
We're already there.
Well, not quite, but we will be. And I think Trump would like to have a civil war.
Yeah.
But
and
I see a lot of blue states talking about seceding without seceding. In other words, they can't because it's illegal, but ways around Cheetolini. Go ahead.
Well, what I see for March, I keep on getting that the beginning of March, Cheetolini may look like he's getting everything he wants. The optics may look good for him, but then when we get around the 17th, which happens to be the Ides of March, that's when things start crumbling. So between the 17th to the end of March, things start hitting the fan. And then when we get to June, July, that's when it really starts falling apart. That's when I feel these people are going to be in deep doo-doo. I don't know if Trump's going to still be around.
I'm pulling the 7 of spades, which is like thunder, lightning, turbulence. You know, it indicates
it's like the Tower card.
It indicates like like people divorcing themselves from him. So, okay. Let's see here. Irene Oswald, will there be a government shutdown on March the 14th? I do see a shutdown coming. So that means there will be a stop in all payments, but even the paychecks to those in the Senate and the House. But Trump would want a government shutdown. He doesn't care about our credit score. He would do it. So then he would say, I'm not going to open it back up until I get what I want. And then he can walk around and saying, you see what I did? There was a government shutdown, but I stopped it. It's for the theatrics.
It's like the guy sets the house on fire and says, oh, I put the fire out.
Right, exactly. I like that analogy. But I asked another thing about Trump, and I got the 8 of diamonds, which means it's broken glass. It means ill luck for long, long years ahead.
And as far as the government shutdown, if there is one, it's a nanosecond. I don't see it for months and months or weeks. If there is one, it depends what day it is. I get yes, I get no, so it's kind of fluid right now for me.
Irene Oswald said, hi, Arthur and Mel, love you guys. Thank you. Why isn't Elon in jail? Well, because, I'm sure, I'm
going to say a song I keep on hearing. Remember that song called Money, Money, Money?
Right.
Money. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say.
Right. Bonnie McCord, will there be felony charges against yes. Because they broke the law, but they're going to say they did it because he told them to do it. But he is not an elected official.
Is
So if somebody came in like Doge is supposed to be a consulting thing, and if some consultant came into the U.S. Treasury and said, "Get all this information, get it now," and they got it illegally, by the way, they should have had a court order to get it, but they didn't. They got it illegally. It'd be like if I told you to rob a bank and you robbed it, but Mel told me to do it. Yeah, but you still
yeah,
robbed it.
but also, if these kids were in their mom's basement doing this, they'd be carted to jail real fast.
Correct.
And don't forget, you can't spell the word felon without ELON.
Oh, I like that. Well, they're going to be called to task for it at some point, and I see investigations and convictions there.
Yeah, I saw the movie Trials at Nuremberg. They had to do it. I was following orders.
I pulled the 2 of spades, which means for a while it looks like they score wins and like they're getting away with this. But at the end of the day, it's like the star on the tarot. It's not the star. I'm sorry, the moon. Things coming up, like from underneath, and creates a lot of unlucky events and facts coming up that are true, and they ain't pretty.
Exactly.
Here, I like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Coeur de Lion. I don't know. Sherry had to help me pronounce that. Hey, all beautiful readers. Well, she gave me the thumbs up. I said, oh, Coeur de Lion, whatever that means.
The lion.
Well, he tried to use the military or call martial law because of or in response to the protests tomorrow. That is a really good question. On Linda's show, or my show, I had Linda on as a guest. We alternate Mondays, like Arthur and I alternate Tuesdays. But I had said, my guide showed me that I said, I feel like Trump is going to try to call martial law. And my feeling is he'll try it. That means people have to be in by a certain time. They can't be out, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know how long that'll hold up, because he might try it for weeks at a time, but people are going to protest and say, oh, no. So
he may call martial law, but I don't see the army following through with it.
Well, you can't lock up everybody.
That's right. You may have a curfew, but that doesn't mean.
Right. I pulled the Ace of Diamonds, which would mean dire misfortune if he tries that. When he will do it.
I don't see him being successful with it. I'm sorry.
He'll do it, but it won't succeed. Because even Republicans are going to stand up, but then he's going to go against those that stand up against him. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow, but it is coming. And even his own advisors are going to tell him not to do it. Let's see if he listens. I doubt it. All right. B. Probin says, hi, guys. Well, Elon must be stopped from hacking into our personal database. Will it be by military force or FBI? Well, with FBI, we don't know where that's going, but there's going to be a lot of people in the FBI that he's going to try to fire because of the January 6th investigation. And that's going to get tied up in court. It's illegal.
Yeah, but the FBI turned over 5,000 names today to the DOJ of who worked on the insurrection cases.
Well, if he tries to go after them, and he will, and try to fire them, I see all kinds of lawsuits being filed. I see it here again, going through the courts. And for a while, it might look like he'll succeed, but at the end of the day, he won't. But the only reason the DOJ turned him over is because now he's got his crony friend as head of the DOJ.
And they ousted the guy that was holding it down from the FBI. And also Kash Patel suggesting that federal employees could be arrested for disloyalty to Trump.
Well, okay, they will try to arrest people. But when that goes to court, it's going to get thrown out so fast your head will spin. I think behind the scenes, there's a bunch of justices on the Supreme Court thinking, what did we do when we gave the president almost total immunity from prosecution? And I see another case like that going to the court, and they're going to say, wait a minute, no, they can be held accountable, and they're not that immune. And they will be able to be charged for high crimes and misdemeanors if they commit them.
Okay. Not the federal employees, but the ones that.
I'm not talking about employees. I'm talking about the president.
Okay. I just want to clarify that.
I'm sorry, that the court would say that if a president commits high crimes and misdemeanors, that they're not immune from that.
And as far as the data breach and
Even under
everything,
the Presidential Act. So there will be some people that will be arrested, yes, that worked on the investigation for the January 6th committee. But they're going to get really highfalutin lawyers, and there's going to be judges that'll put a hold on that, a total freeze. It'll go to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court will tell Trump, you cannot do that.
Mhm.
And Trump's going to say, but it was the FBI, it was him.
Following your orders.
Right.
Instead of the buck stops here, it's the buck stays here. Is what his motto is.
No, the buck doesn't stop there. I mean, he said that, but that's not.
No. What I said is his motto is the buck stays here.
Right.
Doesn't stop,
Right.
You know, as opposed to who said that?
Okay. Before I answer this question by Barbara, Bonnie McCord says we wish no harm to no one, pray and ask God and angel for guidance. Yes, we have been.
Mm-hmm.
And our guides are telling us this. I don't wish anybody harm.
Again, when we say we feel something, it's not coming from us.
Right.
This is from our guides.
Right. People think that we're just giving our opinion, but it's our psychic opinion. It's what we're being shown. Okay. Barbara Yak says, hello, handsome gentlemen. I know Trump is going down or out, but what about the Trump crime family? Thank you guys for all you do. Trump's empire will crumble.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. You know, one of his sons, the one, is it Don Jr.? Yeah. I see him having lots of problems in the future. The other son, not Barron, but what's the other son? Eric. I don't know if he's smart enough. Sorry. But
why would anyone sing the Menendez brothers? Never mind.
But I do feel like that empire will crumble.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. What do you think?
No, they're going away. You know, either stripes or orange. That's all I'm going to say. And Barron Trump, I'm sorry. People are asking me. I've been saying they treat him like he's Paul Atreides, like he's going to be the savior. No, he's not going to be the savior.
No.
I have a podcast. That's about it.
Hello, Mel and Arthur. When do your guides see the downfall of Melania Muscate? I see the number 2. It could be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, but it will happen. The process will begin quickly. You know, when Trump says, I don't know anything about Project 2025, well, guess what? Obviously he does, because he's doing it by that playbook. You know, I started reading Mein Kampf.
Oh my God.
Not because I endorse it. No.
Oh no. It's nice to know what the enemy's up to.
So Mein Kampf means my struggles. And Hitler tried to pull an insurrection in a beer hall in Munich. It was called a putsch. I think it was in 1920 or 1921. And because of it, he went to prison. And while he was in prison, he wrote Mein Kampf. So he tried to overturn the German government then. He did not succeed. He went to jail for it. And when I'm reading Mein Kampf, I'm seeing a playbook of almost what's going on here. Mm-hmm. And it's very frightening. I do not endorse the book. I started reading it because I wanted to see where he was getting his playbook from, his plays from, his actions from. Now I know.
His guide. And you do realize when Hitler came into power, it took him 53 days to get rid of the democracy in Germany at that time.
That's right.
53 days. That's all.
So here we are. All right. That's a good question, Mystical Magic. There's 3 seats coming, and I think it's in the House. Well, the Dems won the House seats coming up in April in New York and 2 in Florida. I don't know about Florida.
I'm going to say yes about New York and 1 in Florida.
That's what I was picking up. 1 in New York and 1 in Florida. But then would that change? I mean, how many seats are they ahead? The
4, I believe it's 4.
So we would need. So
It's still winning close, because I've been saying by the end of the year I feel some of the people in the House and Senate will be ousted because of co-conspiracies.
But they would never get the 2/3 majority that they need for like to amend the Constitution, or nor from the states.
Correct. They're not going to get that. But I do feel like
that means that Trump can't willy-nilly with an executive order like the 14th Amendment say that people who are born here and their parents aren't citizens, they can't be a citizen. No. That's unconstitutional.
well,
A lot of what he's doing is unconstitutional.
are they going to handcuff Melania and send her back?
Thank you. No, he's not deporting people from Europe or from Canada. It's just
yeah, I actually know somebody from Poland, and they were saying they thought her husband was going back to Poland.
Well, but he's deporting Mexicans right now
at the moment. But he's
going to try a bunch.
He was an anchor baby to begin with,
right? He's going to try a bunch of stuff. But I pulled the 6 of diamonds, which means he's going to get a sudden shock, or a lot of sudden shocks from bad news.
Here, hold this. This is red for positive. This is black for negative. Just hold on to these. We're going to turn the car on.
Turn it up. Jenny S. says, is that Goon Musk transferring money from Treasury to the new sovereign wealth fund? Trump signed executive order. Well, if he tries to do that here again, it's illegal because that money
is not his.
And you can't do that.
He was talking about a sovereign wealth fund to buy TikTok.
What's a sovereign wealth fund? I don't even know what it is.
It's like a government wealth fund, and then you take the money out of the Treasury, put it into that, and then you wanted to buy TikTok.
But you still have to have. You just can't do it. You
bypass Congress.
Right. That's unconstitutional. So I see another impeachment for him. I do.
Can they impeach people after they're dead?
That I don't know.
Just asking for a friend.
Okay, this is one from Bernice Sherry. I'm sorry, I'm going to put this up. Bernice Henson says, hi, Arthur and Mel. I'm so very stressed out. My oldest granddaughter is flying to Massachusetts this weekend for a few days, then back home to Arizona. Will her flight there and back be safe? The answer to that is yes. She will return safely.
Mm-hmm. I got that immediately.
See, everybody's fearful to fly. Everybody's fearful of everything. And that's what Trump wants. He wants us to be fearful. No, let the fear get behind us and push us forward, not stand in front of us and hold us back.
And what people aren't realizing, they're saying the plane crashes have become of DEI and all that other stuff. Well,
no, DEI had nothing to do with a plane crash.
The last plane crash was in 2000. Tragic one was like 2021.
Right.
So up until then, there was DEI. Nobody got in trouble. Nobody died.
Correct.
But it's when Trump gets rid of the head of the TSA, FAA, and security and everything else.
Well, here again,
it's not my fault.
Let that fear get behind us and push us forward. Yeah. And the airlines can't police themselves. But he'll try to get rid of he'll try some shenanigans with the NTSB, National Transportation Safety Board, with the Federal Aviation Administration, all of that. But he's going to find out that he just can't disband those things.
No.
He's got to go through the proper channels, and it's not going to work.
It's kind of ironic that it was at Ronald Reagan Airport when Ronald Reagan was the first one to fire all the air traffic controllers.
Fired them because they went on strike.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Pat F. She says, midterm elections are months away. Or do you see a time when we get back to being a democracy? The answer is
sooner than you think.
I'm sorry?
Sooner than you think.
The answer is yes. but we're going to feel like we're climbing Mount Everest with a string of dental floss in the process.
I mean, it's only been 2 weeks. It feels like it's been 2 years, you know?
Oh, I know. It's crazy. All right.
But this too shall pass, like a kidney stone, but it's going to pass.
Spirit Animal says, hi, Auntie Mel and Arthur. Will Netanyahu ever be removed from power? Yes, 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 yes. We're doing the bobblehead.
I like the way you think. Let's get this in sync. Let's see.
Right. Well, here's another one on that topic. Irene Oswald, will Netanyahu be arrested while he is here in the States since he is wanted for work? No, he will not be.
No.
Nope. But I do see him
Eventually.
I do see like military tribunals, and I see him standing trial on those. I don't know if it's a while off yet, but it will happen. Okay, hugs to all that need one today. Yay.
Yay.
Okay, Sherry, you can go back to starring. I'm sorry, I just want to put those up. Did Biden leave anything that Cheetolini can't change?
His diaper. Just kidding.
That was good. He codified a lot of the gay stuff, the gay marriage. It was, it wasn't a lot, but it gave us some protections. So I think he left a lot of things behind.
Something to do about turning parks into recreational villages for Trump's rich people. There's something he passed about that.
But he can't disband the park system. You can't do that.
Well, he's trying to get rid of the Board of Education.
I realize that. He can try it.
They got to get what's her name in first, though.
But these judges will put freezes on it and say, no, you cannot do that. The National Park System is part of the National Park Service. He just can't disband it with a stroke of the pen. It has to go through, I think it has to go through Congress.
It's not even a pen, it's a Sharpie. It's even worse.
Yeah, no, it's a Sharpie. But he does that so he can make his name look real big, which is probably bigger than something else, but we won't go there.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna say I had bought something to use as a visual aid and I forgot to bring it into my office. It was just a can of mushroom soup, that's all.
We ain't going there.
It's mushroom soup. What?
Donna Sauer says ICE is now detaining Native Americans.
Yes.
So illegal. They are sovereign nations. Who will protect them? Wait, Native Americans are born here.
Right, but they're still rounding out because they don't have the right paperwork.
Okay. So when Donald Trump says that those plane crashes were caused by DEI, diversity, equality, and integration, it's really a racist comment, because what he's saying is anybody who's not white that's working as an air traffic controller is subpar. That's what he's saying. All right. I find it racist. They can detain Native Americans, but here again, that's going to go through court. And those Native Americans are going to sue the federal government and win and say, wait a minute, we were here before you were.
Yeah, but Trump's trying to get his hands on the casinos, I'm sure.
But they're detaining them for what purpose? Just to see if they have papers?
Because some of them didn't have the right, they didn't have the state paperwork, but they had their tribal paperwork. It's nuts.
It's bigoted. Anybody that doesn't like me, I'll detain. That's what's going on.
Yeah, petty.
Acadian Proud. Breaking news. CBS News Canada reports Grump wants U.S. to take ownership of the Gaza Strip and redevelop it after Palestinians are displaced elsewhere.
Yeah, that's...
Whoa. Well, we had predicted that Kushner would be there in the Gaza Strip saying, we're going to put hotels here. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And that's probably what he's talking about with Netanyahu. But my guys are telling me Netanyahu will not go along with that.
What I just saw is if they build those condos or whatever it is they want, it goes back to the Palestinians.
Yeah, but
2 states.
Trump wants the U.S. to take ownership of the Gaza Strip.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Well, Netanyahu won't let it happen.
Mm-mm.
Wow. Mercury Angel. I
evil
never thought I
person
would see
against
the USA being brought down like this. No longer wonder how the Nazis took control of Germany. Well, people wondered how it happened.
Now you know.
Seeing it.
It's been happening in slow motion for the last 8 years.
You know, you don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Could have V8.
Oh, you got another one, Sherry? Any idea when when Muskrat will be elected, arrested? I see the number. I don't know. I see the number 2. It could be 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years.
I feel by August. No later than.
I hope you're right. Going to be a huge falling out between him and Trump. You know, his immorality will come to the surface. I pulled the 7 of clubs, and that means his immorality will come to the surface.
Both of them.
Right, both of them.
I mean, I'm going to call him the ketamine kid from now on.
I like that. Hello, Mel and Arthur. Do you see Cassidy Hutchinson releasing the text from the text? What?
The sexual favors from her.
No, but it says releasing the text from the text.
There were people that were sexting her.
Oh, I see.
Asking for sexual favors from her.
Oh.
And when they were talking about bringing people forward, they were saying to Mike Johnson, no, don't bring her in. Don't subpoena her.
I don't know. I see a lot being made public about it.
I think eventually, but yeah.
Eventually it will be public.
I can't wait till the made-for-TV movies start coming out in 5 years from now.
The what?
The made-for-TV independent movies.
There you go. Artist Liz. Will the muskrat and his gaggle of baby muskrats that stole everyone's data at SS be arrested? At some point, yes, because it is illegal what they did, and I think it might be unconstitutional.
I agree.
But that's an insult to baby muskrats.
I was just doing what I was told.
I mean, it's an insult to a muskrat, isn't it?
Especially baby muskrats.
We got to call them something else.
Well, there's a word I think of. Begins with an A, ends with a hole, but we really can't say that.
No, that has a purpose. Sorry. All right, we're on my channel. I don't want to get in trouble again.
I'm not saying anything bad.
Okay. Man, can you check to see if any of the alphabet groups beginning with
N
and N will take action against Chinolini sometime soon? I don't. Well, we can't. Don't say it. But I do see. I do see groups that will take action against Chinolini. All right. I think she might be talking about NATO.
Well, I actually want to say that a lot of courts are going to be involved with this as well. A lot of courts.
He's signing so many executive orders, and the idea is to sign so many and
Knock it
do
on.
so much. So the magician is doing this over here, so he can get what he wants down here. You know, the diversion, deceit. You know, all of the things.
But you know what's happening, right? He's sawing the lady in half for getting that. Oh, this is the real saw.
Exactly. I mean, all of the D's: deceive, divert, detract, distract, divide, destroy, duplicitness, and deception. All of the D's.
Oh, I'll add another one to that, but it would get you thrown off the camera.
Yeah, we don't. We can't. But so he's signing executive orders, letting Musk do all of this stuff, and he knows that it's illegal, and he probably knows if it goes to the court that they'll say he can't do it.
But it's still going to take time to get there.
But it's going to inundate the courts so much, there's not going to be enough time in court to have to hear all those cases. But I see a lot of federal judges, even some he appointed, standing up and saying, no, we're putting a freeze on this. No, you cannot do this.
What I kept on picking up the other night was, this is why President Biden went so much to get all the judges in that he could.
Right.
For this reason, specifically.
And if it goes to the Supreme Court, a lot of those cases, they're going to say, we're going to uphold the decisions of the lower court because they're going to get swamped.
And they don't want to work.
Yeah.
I, mean,
Well,
I like to vote on this, but I got a yacht waiting for me.
there might be a few that would like Clarence Thomas, right?
That's what I'm talking about. I've got a jet and a helicopter and a private yacht waiting for me.
But, you know, these justices are going to be careful because they see what's coming as well.
Do you remember the end of the Frankenstein movies where the monster's running and the village people are like, well, not the village people, but the villagers are running after him with pitchforks and torches? Yeah, so I keep on seeing with the two of them.
Okay, here. Christian Martinez. Hi, Christian. I always like Christian's comments. I like everybody's comments. The president of Mexico is not letting Trump do what he wants. Do you see Mexico closing the border in response to the tariff? I don't see Mexico closing the border. In fact, I talked to Deanne today. She's in Mexico, and she's enjoying it down there, and she's having a great time. And I asked her what the climate was like. And she said that the Mexicans are so friendly and wonderful. And she said there might have been a few that would say, gringo, go home. But many of them are saying, no, we're not going to do to them what Trump is doing to us.
Right.
We're going to welcome them with open arms and make them feel welcome. She said she found a couple people down there, one that was from here who was working down there, who was all about Trump, and maybe another native person, the Mexican that was born there. That was for Trump, but the biggest part of them down there are clearly anti-Trump, and they're not vilifying us like Trump is vilifying them.
Right.
So I don't think they'll close the border. Sherry, what's the Supreme Court thinking now? Wonderful decision they made. As I said earlier in this show, they're starting to think, wait a minute here, let's rethink this. There'll be a case that comes before them again about presidential immunity, and they're going to be thinking, wait a minute, we're going to redefine what is personal and what is presidential immunity, because Trump firing those FBI people, that's criminal because it's not a presidential act.
No, it's not.
Personal act of revenge. And
I have to get 3 letters on this. Not FBI, not CIA, but WTF.
Right. But they're going to, the Supreme Court is going to redefine presidential immunity, because they know that they've they let a tiger out, and they think they've got it by the tail, but this tiger is going wild, and they're like, what did we do? With the exception of 3 of them who go along with him, hook, line, and would go along with Trump, hook, line, and sinker.
Hey, it's a box that says Pandora on here. Should we open it?
I'm sorry, say again.
We have bets on a box. It says Pandora. Should we open it?
Yeah, okay, right. All right. Do you see Pope Francis speaking out more forcefully against right-wing? Absolutely. He's going to speak up for
has.
rights. You ain't heard anything. You ain't seen anything yet. Do you think my letter will get to him, Arthur?
Yes.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah,
everybody write to him. Everybody write to the Pope. Yeah. Call your local chancery office, your local archdiocese. Ask your local bishop, how can you get a letter to the Pope?
Just Google that.
Well,
I'd
write the bishop of your diocese or your archdiocese. Tell them that you're displeased, even if they're Trumpsters. And how do you get a letter to the Holy Father in Rome?
So that's the whole thing. Priests shouldn't be Trumpsters. They should be non-political.
Well, I think that the Pope is going to start speaking out against those who are.
Well, and crimes against humanity. It's like when the popes didn't speak up against Hitler. I think they're going to speak up against Trump.
They will. Spirit animal. What will happen to those young software engineers hired by? I think we've answered that one. Well, their boss told them to do something illegal, and probably told them that it wasn't illegal. But if they're that smart, then they should probably know what they were doing was illegal. And I think what's going to happen, my guides are showing me what's going to happen, is that when all this comes down, they're going to use some of those young software engineers to testify against Elon Musk, so that they will have the goods on Elon Musk, that Musk knew what he was doing. He knew that it was illegal. And Musk will say, I didn't know it was illegal. Well, you might not know robbing a bank's illegal, but if you do it, it's illegal. But they're going to use them to turn evidence against Musk.
If not, they're going to get a front row seat to what it's like being in Guantanamo Bay.
Well, what they're going to say is, we will
give you a queen for a day.
Charge you with you. We won't charge you with all this. We'll charge you with that if you cooperate with us.
Yeah,
and some like of immunity. And I want to tell you, what's going to come out is going to be really, really hair raising.
Well, like I said, he's using the same playbook he did to take over Twitter.
Musk has been planning this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hi, Kathy Reagans.
Hey, Kathy, how are you? Hello, handsome duo. My question is, if the military removes Felonini,
yeah,
France, who will be the replacement? My guys haven't shown me that far ahead.
I kept on getting the other night the Speaker of the House, and it will not be Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson thinks he's going to be going on forever and a day. I see him out.
Yeah.
Very soon, within the next few years.
And I get some religious scandal coming around him too in the future.
Ooh, I got cold chills with that. You think it? Well, it will involve
the root cellar with children.
It will involve extracurricular activity. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Barbie Pomales. Hi, Barbie. What does the future of faux news look like? I read they are starting a streaming network, and I'm scared they will brainwash the next. Well, you can try to brainwash the next generation, but you forget there are other networks that won't brainwash them. I have been watching MSNBC, and I watch Rachel Maddow because she's coming out hard and strong against Trump.
The ratings for MSNBC have gone up now.
Right. They're going to go sky high. I also like Ari Melber. Watch him.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the BBC because they're honest and they're reporting.
I would tell you, this is a personal opinion, not my guides, but I would say also stay away from Sky TV. That's owned by Murdoch, and they just rip anyone to shreds that doesn't agree with Trump, especially in Australia. So just throwing that.
Well, Australia is going to fight back and put up their own network that's anti all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And this could very easily happen in Australia. It could happen in Canada, but I see people waking up in those countries and saying, we will not let it happen.
And the one thing I keep on seeing about Canadians, they're taking like Kentucky bourbon off the shelves. They're never going to buy it again.
Well, Kentucky bourbon actually was bought by this big consortium that's international. And I think the alcohol industry and a lot of these big companies are going to put pressure to stop these tariffs. Bourbon has become really, really, really something people like. And what's going to happen, there's something in Kentucky called the Bourbon Trail, because there's so many distilleries in Kentucky that, a lot of tourists go there, and it's going to hurt the economy of Kentucky. And they're going to start having to speak up as well, and they will.
Poor Mitch McConnell.
Well, Brashear, I feel bad for him because he's a Democrat. But I think he'll stand up and say something. But a lot of what's going on with this Trump, it's he's leading us into a lot of misadventure. But those evil consequences can be averted, but it's up to us to make sure that they are.
I don't see violence with. Oh, sorry.
Nora Garcia, go ahead, Arthur. You can.
You're saying, will there be a massive protest tomorrow at every state capital? Do you see any violence against the rioters, or protesters rather? They're not going to be rioters, but protesters. And like you said earlier, they may try and infiltrate it with, bad actors. but I don't see it's going to happen.
I pulled a card on Trump again. I got the 10 of clubs, which means illness and sickness. I see what he looks like. He looks horrid, but he's got to watch his health. Tomorrow, I do see people convening for peaceful protests that he might try to tell governors of the red states, send out the National Guard. And at some point, I do see violence erupting, not tomorrow, but it will not be from the people who are protesting. It will be from the people that the government puts in to stop the protest. It's going to be, unfortunately, something like Kent State. Remember when the students at Kent State were protesting and they brought in the National Guard and they were ordered to open fire on the protesters and those students were killed?
Yep.
I see something like that happening under Trump's regime, but people are going to just be outraged by it. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but my guides are showing me something like that happening in the very near future. I'll pray that I'm wrong because I don't like that kind of stuff. But it's still, all this is going to happen to be all adds up to bring Trump's downfall.
Yeah.
We got time for 2 more, Sherry. What will be the breaking point for us? I think
we're already there.
Already there. Plus, I see a lot of natural disasters that are going to ban us all together. And because Trump's tried to defund FEMA, he's going to be out there throwing toilet paper, paper towel rolls, whatever he does. And people are going to band together and say, no, we need aid here. The 5 of spades I pulled for Trump, which means a loss of property. It means acute illness. It means him losing everything. A lot of events coming like the moon and the Tarot that are going to unearth a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of unsavory, horrible things that they're doing and have tried to do.
Despicable and deplorable.
Thank you. All right. We got time for one more, Sherry. Jackie Frazier says, when will Tom Homan, the border czar, go down?
How many trips?
He's the one that said he was going to pick on Chicago first. And this, they're pulling people out of schools and houses. It's horrible.
He's also the one that said, oh, we're not going to separate families. They can go with their father.
Right. I see him being, I don't know if it's crimes against humanity, but something like that. Right now, he might think that he's all that in a piece of toast, and he's playing to the ultra right-wing white nationalist. But at some point, I see him going down in history with the likes of Pol Pot, with the likes of Hitler, with the likes of Goebbels, a propaganda minister, with the likes of Heinrich Himmler, with all of that. I see him going down in history. I hope they don't demonetize me again because I said those names, but
no, I don't think they will. But also what I'm getting here is he is also going to be judged by a higher court, period.
Well, but I see him going down in flames because of the mass deportations, and he's going to be breaking law in the process. I don't know if he'll be tried for crimes against humanity, but I got a funny feeling it'll be something like that. They'll just word it a bit differently.
Yeah, I don't see him hosting any late night talk shows.
I'm sorry?
I don't see him doing any late night talk shows.
Right. We got time for one more, Sherry.
Here's a prayer request.
Friend of family little dog started bleeding and vomiting last night. Her name was Rosie. Ooh. It could be pancreatitis. I'm not liking the outcome of it. but I will certainly, let's all send
Yeah,
prayer and
yeah.
healing energy for little Rosie and little Rosie's owners.
Okay.
On a happy note, keep the faith. Love trumps hate. Love over fear. Um, you know, um,
And we're all in this together.
and we're all in this together.
No one here is alone. And if you feel like you're isolated or alone, send me an email. You're
Correct.
not alone. You're not. We're all in this together. And somebody said to me, "It's always darkest before the dawn." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." But also, it's like this too shall pass. Like I always say, it may seem like a kidney stone. It's still going to pass. We do get through this. We have no choice.
This is America's kidney stone. But what defeats hate? What defeats bigotry and prejudice?
Love.
Here's what defeats it: love.
White light, pink light,
White light, love. So, we can still be loving, but keep our warrior spirit and stand up against injustice. And that's what will save our democracy.
And not to shame others.
No.
Not to shame them, not to ridicule them, because that's the same as them bullying us. What, we're going to bully them? No.
But we can stand up against bullying.
Oh yeah, with the truth.
Everybody go to Arthur's channel, my channel, Sherry's channel, and give it the thumbs up and hit that subscribe button below.
Yay. And if anybody's looking for a reading, give this guy a call. He's really good. And I've got some openings too.
Thank you. Oh, infomercial. I have openings on my trip to Peru and my trip to Iceland. They're starting to sell out. So please, please, please give my office a call at the number listed below, 847-590-5411 or www.meldorr.com. To contact Arthur, you can email him at www.arthur, ARTHUR, ease your mind, EASEYOURMIND.com. And Sherry, you can come on. How do they get a hold of you? Sherry said that she's loving Androniki's skincare. So thank you to Androniki Skincare. Andro, ANDRO, plus Niki, NIKI. Check it out. I've been using it and my hands are feeling great. My face is feeling great and the stuff is phenomenal.
I haven't started using mine yet. So.
Oh, you got to use it. So
I've been seeing a dermatologist for some issues. So,
Andrew, thank you for sending it, and it's incredible. So, we wish Androniki the best luck. Andro plus Niki. Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, swampvoices@gmail.com. Put reading in the subject heading. That's Swamp Voices, SWAMP Voices, VOICES @gmail.com. Put reading in the subject heading. Okay.
Did you do well at spelling bees as a kid?
I'm sorry?
Did you do well at spelling bees as a kid?
I did phenomenal in spelling bees. I was a very good speller, except I before E, except after C, and all that stuff.
I was dyslexic, so I always messed up. But anyway.
Well, I had dyscalculia, so don't ask me to add and subtract. I didn't do so hot in that, but spelling I was pretty good at.
The nuns once asked me to spell because I always spell it wrong. They said, write this out 500 times. So I wrote it out 500 times. Wrong. They thought I was being a wise ass. Anyway.
I hate it when they make you write stuff out. That was so cruel. That was like cruel and unusual punishment. You have to write out 500 times. I will not talk in class while Sister Mary of Perpetual Motion is speaking, and I must not chew gum, and I must not talk to my neighbor. They give you this whole paragraph.
Unfortunately, though, when you were writing, you were saying out loud each time. I will not.
No, I was saying, what a jerk. Except I wasn't saying jerk. I was saying a swear word.
Dear Miss Penguin.
Remember the clickers?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's, That's
those
what I was telling you at that time when I was in church and the nun was flicking holy water on me when we were doing the clicker. Everybody's going up and down. I'm like, what the heck is this? And then it was holy water because I told the nun something and it happened.
Some of those nuns.
Second grade. And so if I knew then what I knew now, I said, sister, I'm not sizzling. Please stop.
Click, click, click.
Click, click, click.
I used to go with my cousins. My mom was Catholic and my dad was Protestant. But when I go with my grandma, I'd go to my Aunt Frankie's house and she would, and my cousins would go to mass. And I didn't know genuflex. I'm walking in mass one day. My cousin Stephen genuflected in front of me and I fell over him. I'm like, you kneeled right in front of me. He goes, you're supposed to. I go, why? Well, and I remember before Vatican II, when the priest did the consecration, he would not face the congregation. And they had the little missalettes and they had the red and Latin.
Red and red, yeah.
All along. But I always said, Grandma, what's he saying? She goes, I don't know. But I thought he was saying, I play dominoes, you play dominoes, we play dominoes.
And the only time I was an altar boy, I got late, put the cassock on. It was too long. I didn't realize it. I'm walking with the chalice with the hosts. Stepped on the cassock. Seam ripped out. I went flying. The Eucharist went flying. And all the nuns are sitting with little, Kleenex putting on top. Yeah, the next week I
clean it, wipe it, because God forbid you should get some of that and then bury it or do something with it.
I don't know, but the next week I was a choir boy.
I would have done 5-second rule.
Well, the one time my grandma was saying, this is really dry. And I said to the priest, could you put jam on that?
It's the Arthur and Mel Catholic Joke Hour.
Besides, yeah, really. Ave Maria, so glad to see you.
There used to be a show in Chicago. Actually, it was, I don't know if it went to Broadway.
It was called Fulton Sheen.
No, it was called Do Black Patent Leather Shoes Really Reflect Up?
Oh, that was a book.
And it was really, really a good, it was a book, but it was also, it was a play. And it was hysterical. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Thanks, everybody. So everybody, you got a good laugh. You know kind of what it was like to go to Catholic school.
It's called trauma.
And here's my question. And I heard George Carlin say this. Innocent potato, I'm not a recovering Catholic. I'm recovered. What was it George Carlin said that was so funny? Like all the babies that weren't baptized that died were like in limbo. Limbo was kind of a place, wasn't having a hell, just kind of you were there. And then he's, hi, Luci DeLisi. But then he said, what happened after Vatican II when they did away with limbo? What happened to all those babies in limbo? Are they just floating around somewhere? Or the people who did not eat fish on Friday? Those fish sticks, remember those things? So what happened to all the
fish cakes?
So what happened to all those people with, see, there were different kinds of sins. A venial sin,
white sin. Yeah.
But a mortal sin was like this black stain on your soul. But if you had too many venial sins, bad.
But then they used to force us to go to confession, and we'd lie to the priest because we didn't do anything.
Oh, I would say, I said a swear word. What'd you say? I said damn in hell, But anyway, what happened to all those people with all of those venial sins? Oh, thanks, Becky.
Lighting Catholic candles.
I've been lighting my Catholic candles, girlfriend. That
I have battery ones at this point.
I believe in that. What happened to all those people with all those venial sins that went to hell or purgatory because they ate meat on Friday? Where'd they go now?
I don't know. But you do realize they always say when you light a candle, that's a part of your soul. That's your inner flame. Why do we always blow it out on birthdays?
You know where lighting candles came from. During the Middle Ages, the peasants were out in the fields working, so they could not be in church. So they would light a candle to represent them there, but they also had to pay to light that candle. So the church kept that money.
Oh, like I said, Ave Maria, so glad to see you. In that confessional, see if your sin's original, genuflect, genuflect, genuflect. Timothy Leary.
the rosary beads came because a lot of the peasants couldn't read or write, so they could remember the prayers.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Anyway, all right. On that happy note, everybody, please send healing energy to Becky, and healing energy to the little doggy, and healing energy to our nation. And remember,
also to your friend that passed away.
Yes. And remember,
dedicated to.
And remember, when you get hung up in fear, don't forget to laugh. That will get us through these dark nights of the soul that lie ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Let's remember to laugh and let the fear get behind us and push us forward.
If not, we'll go nuts.
I don't have enough Prozac. Thank you.
I have to get mine from Canada. It's too expensive here.
Yeah, join it. Well, I don't take it, so maybe I should. All right, Arthur, this has been a treat. Sherry, you want to come out and say hi?
I'll see you next Tuesday on my channel.
Yeah, I don't. Hi, Sherry.
Hi. Bye.
Sherry's been behind the scenes working so hard. Thanks, Sherry. I appreciate it. Do you have any
welcome
stories for us, Sherry?
Do I have any what?
Catholic stories for us, real quick.
Not that I can say on air.
She wasn't gonna be
save that. No way. We'll have to save that for the slumber party one Saturday night. That's an anything goes show. I run a content warning clip before the show starts saying explicit language and touchy topics, and I read that kind of helps cover your behind so that they don't fuss at you.
But would YouTube consider that a venial sin?
That's a venial sin.
For YouTube.
I have no earthly idea.
They add up. I wonder if venial sins add up to a mortal sin. And how many venial sins does it take to have a mortal sin? I don't know.
Well, we'll ask a nun that and see what she does.
I get smacked.
Yeah, thank you.
Write that 500 times.
Not funny.
I went to Catholic school 1 year, and I told my mom, don't ever send me back there again.
Yeah, the nuns didn't understand me, needless to say.
We used to go to the fish fry every Friday night at St. Jerome in Fairdale, and I loved the fish because it was cod.
Oh, I love the fish fries. That's the only reason why I go to Catholic church.
On the rye bread, remember that? Oh, with the tartar sauce, and they had the cake.
Now, they could keep the tartar sauce, but I love the fried fish.
They would have the cake.
Down here, they do catfish. So.
Oh, I love. We had catfish.
But my mom would open up a can of codfish cakes. That's how she did it. It was like,
Grandma would always play. You know, they had you put your nickel on a number, and they'd spin the wheel.
Yeah.
And Grandma was always lucky, and so she would play the cake wheels. But I go, Grandma, you make cakes. Why would you? Because I don't want to bake one, boy.
Yeah, not like the church.
But they had little stuffed animal wheels, and we begged her, Grandma, play it for us. And she was lucky at it. She'd win. And so we'd get some stuffed animals, and we'd get the fish, and we'd,
Church teaches us how to gamble. That's what it was.
Well, it did. I mean, I thought
as long as they didn't put the fish in the stuffed animals, you were okay.
Okay. When I was in second grade, first grade, the teacher asked who could count to 10. And I raised my hand, and she said, Melvin. Oh, I did that name. And I said, ace, deuce, trey, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, king.
Bingo. I can count to 11. My
grandma would be like, you be good, and you can stay home from school tomorrow. Me and you'll play poker. And we'd play with matchsticks. And the truant officer called and said, Miss Dorr, to my mom, Mrs. Dorr, your son's been missing a lot of school. And Mom said, he goes to school. And my mother said, have you been going to school? I said, oh, yeah, I've been going to school. I hadn't been. And so I was getting in my grandma spoke up and said, I let him stay home to teach him to play poker. Leave that boy alone.
Got to have priorities, right?
You had to have the priority.
And look at us now.
And look at us. I'm a professional game. No, I'm not. We play with matchsticks. We didn't have money.
When I lived in Phoenix, I lived literally like 3 blocks from Casino, Arizona. It's so there was always a party going on by my place. But about once a month, a group of us from work would go to the casino to play. And this one girl, every time she'd go in, she'd walk around, she'd finally zero in on a machine, she'd sit down, and within half an hour, she had all the bells and whistles going, and she'd get just dumped with money. I'd be like, how the hell do you do that every time? It's like, I'm losing $20 every time I come in here. You go
Yeah.
home with a damn sack full of money. So
Me, I'd still be trying. One more funny story. I remember I'd go out to the country to stay with my Aunt Betty. She had 5 kids, and we were close. I had 24 first cousins on mama's side, but there was a group of us who were all born together, and we were close. Well, she didn't have running water. You'd have to go into Shepherdsville, this little town. There was a public faucet to fill up your water canteens. They were big army canteens. So we decided that we were going to make a swimming pool. So we dug a hole. We took all the water from the canteen and filled it full. What happened to my water? Well, we're making a swimming pool. Line up. She'd line us up, and she'd take a highlight paddle. And we'd pray to be at the end because we figured she'd get tired. She didn't hit us hard. She just gave us a swat. And I remember one time we were making a tree house, and there was lumber that had a nail in it. And I jumped out of the tree house, had my flip flop on, and the nail went through my foot. And I'm crying, board stuck to my foot on the flip flop, going up to the house. My aunt said, "Oh, geez, this kid has unstuck a nail in his foot." She got the nail out and she said, "You're going to have to get a tetanus shot." And I'm going, "I don't want a tetanus shot. It's going to hurt." She goes, "You just got a nail in your foot. What could hurt worse than that?" Anyway, the stories. We used to get those little beanie weenies. Remember those?
Mhm.
And we loved them. And me and my cousin used to use them for fishing bait, but we'd eat them too. Not after we used them for the bait, but before. He said, "Melvy, go up." They called me Melvy. "Melvy, go up to the house and get some more." So my aunt had this room. It was supposed to be a bathroom, but they didn't have indoor plumbing. But she had the pot that we'd go in, and she hadn't emptied it that morning. So I thought, I'll climb up on that pot and I'll get one of those cans of beanie weenies, because she had them sitting up on a wardrobe in there. It's just a little tiny room. I'm climbing up there, and all of a sudden I lost my balance. I'm on the floor. The contents of the pot are all over me. And then she comes in, she goes, "And what were you doing?" I said, "I was getting beanie weenies." She goes, "You're going to have to clean it up."
At least she didn't tell you to go cook the beanie weenies in the pot.
"Here, let me wash you off." And she's putting water over my head. I go, "I'll get pneumonia." She said, "Then you'll die with a clean head."
Yeah. I just want to, before we sign off, there's somebody that's been writing in this. How could we talking and being funny when Trump has declared war, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I just want to say, this is what we're talking about, humor. It's tragic what Trump is doing. We already talked about that earlier. We're just trying to lighten the mood. Okay?
Yeah.
I just want
Let
to
everybody go home with a smile on their face and not a frown.
It's like we said
If we're not laughing, we're crying.
It's like we said before we started at the very end, the last 20 minutes. We said one of the ways we can speak up, we can let our voices be heard, we can speak up against this coup, but let's don't forget to laugh as well.
I mean, I'm not saying we don't hear you. We do, Ace. We really, really do.
We spent the last hour, almost hour and 20 minutes hearing. We spent all the time we do these shows hearing, but yet at least we had a moment and put all that aside, and we had a moment of laughter.
Yeah.
I do a daily affirmation every day, and I started doing a daily political energy thought every day. And I do these on my lunch break. So they're no more than 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes max. They're just real fast and simple. But I try to wrap up each one that I do at the end with hope.
Right.
And that's what I tell everybody. Don't let go of your hope.
Correct.
Keep a smile on your face because somebody else may need to see that smile. And you might be the one thing that changes their world that day because you smile at them and tell them, hey, how you doing? Whatever. I said, but you can't, as depressing as this crap is, and as difficult sometimes as it is for us to read on it, because we're having to mix in with that negative energy to pull what we need. You know, it's like there are times when after I get through reading, I feel like I need to go take a shower because it's just, you just get inundated with it. And so I always try to wrap up all of my little individual things with hope. Just keep your hope, keep your faith. It will get better. My guides have been very firm about that. It will get better. It's not going to happen tomorrow and it's not going to happen next week, but it will get better. But it'll only get better if we believe it and if we live it.
And
And if
also,
we keep our hope.
There'll be dark days, but we will get through them.
And I've got a
Yeah.
guided meditation, let go of stress and anxiety. They're really
Arthur's guided meditations are fantastic, y'all. I've done all of them, I think, at this point. I mean, yeah.
I'm glad that we had a few laughs.
I am too.
Me too. I needed it.
All
It
right.
was a crappy day.
Sherry, thank you. I'm going to run.
I have to go.
You're welcome.
Sherry, you're a sweetheart. Thank you for being the person behind the scenes. Arthur, thank you.
I love it.
Everybody,
I love y'all.
And
love
thanks
you
to everybody that came by and stopped by and said hello.
Thank you. Everybody,
Yes.
don't let the fear stand in front of you and hold you back. Let it get behind you.
Let it get behind you and push you forward.
Okay.
All right.
I have that as my email tag in my signature, my email signature.
Thank you.
And I have people all the time stop and say, where did you hear that? Who's this Mel guy that you're quoting? And I'm like, he's a very good friend. I said, and it's his saying, and I like it so much that I just share it with everybody. So
Everybody out there, share it. I don't care. Share it.
that's it. Yeah.
Share love trumps hate. Share it. All right, everybody. It's been a wonderful night. Sherry and Arthur, hang on. Everybody stay well, stay happy, and speak up.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.